The one.
Yeah, Willy be the one, man. I had a little bit of the chicken wing, what you call it? The burpees.
So, man, what muscle have you pulled on your body that you are misconstrued during this election season?
I was trying to work out, and we got to get ready for this. If Biden wins or Trump wins, really don't matter because I feel like it's going to be an uproar regardless. So I figured, why don't I just do a little workout, get myself back into shape. And then I end up pulling like a lower back muscle.
So basically, you need somebody to walk on your back like Mr. Bentley did George Jefferson.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I don't think I pulled anything though.
I'm too heavy. I'll break your back. So you have to find someone else.
I get my pregnant wife to do that. She'll take care of it. She'll be taking care of me this long.
Yeah. I guess that's what's good about being husband. Once you break your back, your wife is there to take care of you or to control you. One of the two if you break your back. As long as you don't get
like a robot.
And that thing where you up with your shoulders up and you walking around like Weekend at Bernie's, then you pretty good. But once that happens, it's over with. Now let me ask you this question: who do you think is sweating more bullets right now, Biden or Trump?
Well, from what we talked about, I think more so. I think Trump has a little bit more to sweat because, that he owed that money. He needs to win.
He needs to win.
Like, he has no choice but to win. He needs to win, and I think also like if he don't win, he might be going to jail. Well, I've seen people get out of jail though too. Like, you can clean. I mean, all the stuff that he's putting up now, they could make it like he lost his mind.
I mean, well, he did lose his mind at some point to be at this place. Because he tried to call the election, like, first he said, stop the count. But if he had stopped the count right where it was, he would have automatically gave the election. He would have gave the election, and Biden probably told in his camps like, hey, dummy, we can't stop the count or you lose. Oh, for real? Oh, more counting.
But this is where he think that he probably might have won because, some people, if they're not really up on the voting, the voting map, now he has a little bit more red as far as the map looks like. Right? So he's probably going by like, I got all this red here. Nah, we won because we took over those states. So technically, I won.
But here's the kicker of that. And I hate to say this. This makes people look a lot like dummies when it comes to coloring. So, because it's coming down to numbers and colors. Because they look at the map and they'll see somewhere big like South Dakota, right? And it's all red. But then they'll see someone blue like New York City. There's like 100 or maybe 200 times as many people in a square block radius as there is in a square block radius in South Dakota. Meaning, and when you get into that dense population, it's usually not white people. Because for some reason, they separate white people like 40 acres and a mule or something. I don't know.
But
they go ahead.
Go ahead.
So then you get to places where it's like dense, and you like Georgia's a good place. Like all of Georgia's red, and then you get into like Macon and Atlanta and Stone Mountain, that whole area, and it's all red. But when you look at the population per capita per square mile, like once you hit that county where Atlanta and Stone Mountain, Marietta, and all that is, it's like quadruple. It's packed. It's packed with black people.
It's packed together. Because when I went down there, Atlanta is a city. It's a city-like area. You got your metro system. You got your bus system. It's just like a city. Just like we would say Charlotte. You know? Charlotte's a little city. Now, we could be out here in Winterville, Aden. Yeah, it's city limit. Like, but it's nowhere near a city. You know, you don't have like 8-story buildings or like, I mean, now we have some, but it's still like the college kids and stuff like that. It's not really where a person lives with their whole family day to day and consistently paying rent and on side street parking and stuff like that. Like, they don't have to do that out here. Like in Charlotte, New York.
This is some breaking news. So now, Biden and Trump just took Biden in Georgia. No, I'm sorry. I lied.
What?
Biden just took Trump. He just took Trump. Biden just took Trump in Georgia, and they're turning in the Atlanta counts right now. It's like 1% left, and they got turning the rest of that Forsyth County, which is nothing but black people. And right now, here's the numbers: 2, 4, 4, 7, 3, 4, 3 for Trump. 2, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 3. So it's less than 2,000 votes right now between them. And
yeah, because up there, Biden needs what? 260. Well, Biden at what? 260 now, right? 264.
He's at 264
for electoral votes.
So he can grab Nevada. See, how I look at the map right now, what people don't realize, if Biden wins Nevada, right, Trump can come through and get Pennsylvania, North Carolina, South Carolina, he'll win the election. But if he takes Nevada and takes at least Georgia or Pennsylvania, because he's running neck and neck, they're both at 49% apiece in those areas. And it's just a couple decimal point away from it. So if he could take Pennsylvania or Georgia, Trump will be hearing that song, you know, na 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 na. Hey,
oh, no, he won't. No, he won't.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. You have these people going, hold on, man. You can't throw him out of office, y'all. Find some votes, and me and my AK-47 is going to make sure he stays in office.
Look, man. If Biden wins, we might have a war. Trump wins, we might have a war. If that's
No. I think it's the reverse. If Trump loses, we're going to have a war. If Biden wins, we're going to have chaos for a couple weeks. I mean, if Trump wins, because it all hinges on Trump. If Trump wins, we're going to have a little chaos, a little disruption for a couple weeks, maybe. It might even be a few days. But now, if Trump loses,
so you're saying that Biden's going to need the plexiglass more than the plexiglass? He's going to need the bubble shield.
The pump is already sending him the Pope bill. They would have.
But you know what though? I don't think they're going to really do nothing to Biden, because they don't want no black woman in charge. If he wins, it's more smarter for them to keep him alive than her to be the first female president. Because I don't think they're ready for that.
I mean,
I agree with, her views on certain things, but
Hold on.
I don't.
So you're trying to tell me the people that's been screaming "All Lives Matter" doesn't want a black woman in office?
No.
But all lives matter.
A black woman would tell her how it is, whether she's wrong or right.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, all right. This is what I did. As far as the women that I dealt with and the women that I know, you know, they're going. It is what it is, and some people ain't strong enough to handle that. These women could be submissive, but they ain't gonna be on some like you gonna run me over type stuff. No, I gotta let you know what it is. Like, I'm gonna tell you how I feel. And you're gonna hear these bars.
They're definitely gonna give you the bars.
Right, so if you can give you can give Little Kim slack, you can give Meg slack, any other female that's of brown skin in different shades, because I kind of hate using black now, because when you look up the definition of black, it means like a black hole, like nothing, like bad.
Well,
and I don't look black, I look brown.
No. When you look up I think it's the etymology of that word, you find out a little something special, right?
Okay. Break it down, brother.
The word black means to be. The word black means to be without color. Okay?
Well, I mean, that makes sense, though. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Like,
so I ask yourself, when we look around this world of people, what people are colorless? When you find those people, you find the true black people, and those people are probably from Africa. Hint, hint. But, I digress. So, because all
Africa, north and the south.
North.
I don't think they're ready. I don't even know if they did the research from the last podcast.
Oh, they did. I lost some friends on some of my white friends deleted me. I can tell when they listen to the podcast because I lose. I'd be like at 5,000, and then after the podcast, I'd be like at 4992. It'd be like 8 of them left. Like, oh, I just can't take it. I went and looked it up, and God knows,
wow.
I might be an African American.
Well, I'm kind of proud to say that I haven't lost any of my white friends as of yet. I don't plan on to, but I mean, I love them though.
Some of mine.
I love people. I love the people, man.
Yeah,
whether they good or bad.
Hey, I won't even say it's not even up to us to judge if they're good or bad. I mean, that's not even in our scope of things we can really handle. That's like a godly thing, like judgment. Yeah. So a lot of times I think.
So why some people feel like they're gods or they kings? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got some people that will say, like, you a god. And then, so they're saying, like, you're not the god, but you're like a little mini god. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the other ones where they say, there's one god, but you're a king. And you're the king of your circle. Or your bubble.
Well, it's kind of like, it's like the God body, 5%er, Earths and Gods. I'm not going to go deep into it, but it's more black empowerment. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just say in a perfect world, if a young man felt he was the embodiment of God or he was a God body, right? And he treated his body as that vessel, a lot of missteps and misguided youth mistakes would be overlooked because he would have the supreme wisdom of the God body to know that that's not what I'm supposed to do. So it's like trying to get that person to take on that thing. Like, take for instance, when they make, if you're in a neighborhood, right, and you got an abandoned lot, and if it just sits there abandoned and then the community gets together and puts it and makes a garden out of it and everybody puts hands in it, well, if somebody walks through that neighborhood and throws some trash into that garden, you got a lot of people that's coming out telling you, yo, pick that up because they respect that lot because they put pride into it. So it's,
well, yeah, because I know, like, in other countries, like, you can't, if you litter, it's like it's possible you could go to jail.
Yeah, if you litter certain places here, in Winterville they used to have a sign. I never forget this, and my dad used to always point it out coming out of Winterville. It says, 5 years in jail and a $5,000 fine for littering.
Woo!
So
that's still a rule, like, right now?
I haven't seen a fine, but I'm pretty sure there's still some rural towns that still have those. Because, see, that's that rural backwoods, hey, you got to pay this money up, but we ain't going to fine you the $5,000, but you got $500, hint, we'll let you go.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so. But, I mean,
crazy.
It has also.
I didn't think about it. I didn't even know that, like, out here, they have, I mean, like, it's crazy because you never know, like, my pops always told me, and there's some other people that I ran across with, it was like, know the law of the land.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, if I'm toting and I want to go to New York, I know I can't tote in New York. The way they got the thing set up crazy is like part of the gun got to be in the glove box. Then the bullets got to be separated. That got to be in the box in the trunk somewhere. The magazine got to be somewhere else. So it's got to be separated.
Time out. Me being a country dude, how am I supposed to protect myself quickly, instantaneously, and have the right to bear arms if you do that to me in the state of New York City? But
that's what I'm saying.
But see,
this is crazy. Because we got the Constitution. The Constitution said we have a right to bear arms. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't bear arms if you ain't got the arm to bear. And, I mean, you know, sad to say, but, you know, New York is a Democratic state.
Leader. What? Smooth shit. Something that what? You can ride to. What else? Roll up and get high to. What's going? If I was rapping, not to be taken loosely. Came through in the game and fucked the town up like the too sweet. Talking who the best shit, you dumb if you don't choose me. Reality, shit is just a glimpse of what I'm doing. 5, he survived, the last one that took him out though. My man called slipping, shit happens when you outdoors. Wasn't who they thought now, friends you need to watch for. Asked me where I'm going, I told him to stop me at the top floor. Your chick there too, huh? Chillin' with a top off. Keep it out your hands, don't touch it if it's not yours. Told me I'm a dog, but she the one on all fours. Said they want more, so fuck it, let me get an encore. Backwards come rip now, I'm about to switch the Fonto. Flavors came in, I told her meet me with a pronto. Fuck the house, I prefer the high rise with the condo. Mine's being mine, the homie, please nigga mind yours. Look, nowadays we moving too quick, straight cash. Ain't no time for nothing stupid. Money slow, I get bored, y'all get music. The language that I speak is from the street, I speak it fluent. My life's still the same, I just eliminated bullshit. Cup of the Henny, ran down by some white runs. Money in the bag, getting stashed for the boys rush. Trips being took, jet lags when the boys come. Corks being popped, get the wood, roll the noise up. My favorite song by Nines, always was one love. Went underground like Mario, get the coins up. Small crowd, but if you're real, you can join us. I won't lie, put all bullshit aside. As my life go, it's been one hell of a ride. And I've been my own boss, damn near most of the time. About 50 songs up and all the vocals is mine. Get a boy a beat and it don't take me much time. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of get it. I mean, because, you know what? I'm lying. Hold on. New York State and New York City are two different things.
See, yes. Inside the city is different than around the state.
Right. So the state, you can tote. The city part, you can't. You can, but you have, in certain stipulations that you can do that. And I think that's also got to be dealing with, like, if you got a job or, you know somebody. But even if then, it's weird. But I don't know. But I feel like if a city like Charlotte could do it, or Atlanta can do it.
Okay, pause. So imagine being, give me a good grocery store in New York City. What's a good grocery store that would be jam-packed with people?
Well, at the time, it was, when Fastmark was hot, it was hot. But Key Food is still around.
Okay.
But I would say, like, but jam-packed, I would probably say something like BJ's or Costco's.
Okay. So imagine in New York City.
So they're like the Sam's Club.
Okay, because I've seen this in the Sam's Club. Imagine a dude walking down the aisle in the Sam's Club with a Desert Eagle just sitting on his hip, just walking down the aisle. Okay? Dude's got a rifle in the back of the car. Here at the Piggly Wiggly and Aiden's when all the stuff was going on, seen a dude with the rifle strapped on his back. I was like confused. Like, what are you in here to kill? Is it live pigs and cows in the back? Do you have to kill your own animal? Why do you need a rifle strapped on your back walking down the aisle? It's to intimidate us as black people, but I understand that. But you look like a pure intended fool. But now flip that and go in New York City. If that went on, you would have a shootout in the store. Because the mentality of the people in New York City, because most times they're wearing Trump shirts and they're saying a little mumbling stuff. They do that in the grocery store in New York. You're going to have a old school corral shootout in the middle of the grocery store, somewhere between the meat aisle and the vegetables.
I don't know, man. I mean, I could see well, people will probably like get crazy with it, like, yo, probably own one. But at the same time, man, I mean, say like, they already got strict rules as it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So say like one of the requirements, like you have to attend the class before you can even like do that. Like, and the class will have to give you like instructions when you take a test and all of that or whatever.
You got to stop. How many people going to class? People won't even go to class to get their license back.
But I'm saying though, if it's already a strict system already, so before you, so say like down here, we can go to the thing and purchase our permit and we could go purchase one, right? But say like up there, they say, okay, well, you can't purchase a permit. The only way you can do it, you got to go through a class. So like a city like that, like you got to go through a class, and once you get certified from there, get your fingerprints and stuff like that or whatever, then you can go ahead and purchase your gun. Once your ID and everything comes in the mail. I mean, you know, the thing about it is they sometimes they do cut the people short and thinking like sometimes people can't handle it, but if you prepare them in a proper manner, then I don't think it'll be that bad. I mean, gun prices will go, it will go through the roof. I mean, if you was a gun trainer, New York will probably be the place for you to go if you want to make that money, or any of those kind of cities type situations. And
okay.
I think it would. I think a lot of people would think and act a little bit different before they do it. Because down here, you know, you can flip off and this, that, and third, and you know, 9 out of 10, you know, but some people, like they got like, all right, put it like this, like they got the horn, right? You get a fine if you wailing on the horn. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're up now, you get fined if you wail on the horn, but in the city part, that's like, you know, that's like nature. But out here, he's not gonna wail on the horn like that out here, cause you'd be like, I don't know if this person toting or whatever, but you know, it's just you think before you think before you move. Like, I'll put it like this: like the area you come from and the area I come from, right?
Mhm.
You know, when you come up, when like even with the street code and all this, like there was like a respect thing to a degree. You know what I mean? If you know you're gonna see Boo Boo, now people may say, "Oh, Boo Boo," kind of funny, but if you hear Boo Boo or Pookie, you're gonna be like, "Yo, this motherfucker might be crazy."
Definitely.
You're gonna approach it in a certain way. You know what I mean? Like, and you gotta be scared, but you gotta approach it in a certain way where it's like, yo, respect.
So let me ask you this:
like you get respect, you get respect. It's not like that right now.
Is it a universal word though for people named Pookie and Boo Boo? They're always afraid because everywhere I've ever heard of those names, those people end up being about a little off. Those are the people you don't trust. And I feel like that's our culture type names, like, cause, you know, Caucasian culture, you know, like serial killers and mass murderers, they have like, my name could be Danny. You know, Danny Boucher. And it'd be like, just didn't like it today. Just had a bad day today. You know, we hear Boo Boo and Pookie, we gonna like, or say Debo, we gonna be like, man, we know what they're about. So let's, you know, do we really want to deal with them or not? You know what I mean? Like it's too crazy. Most times we don't. Most times we don't. We don't want to deal with them.
Right. Right. So, I mean, like, but the thing about it is they don't, I'm not saying they don't kill people, but we are, that part of it is the lesser of the two evils. How about that?
Okay. Now, what do you think? Okay, do you think after they decide a selection, we're going to have a chance for the American people to reconcile with each other and try to rebuild, or do you think it's just fractured forever at this point?
Oh, at the beginning? I mean, whoever wins it or not, they're gonna have a storm to deal with. Like, I don't know, like certain people could deal with it. Cause I was at a when I went to go vote, right? There was a dude. He had him and his kid, and they service dog. You know, the only thing that wasn't the 70s, I mean, like the 60s and no one say maybe the 40s. They had the 40s. No, I want to say 60s. When was Bewitched? Like in the 60s, 70s?
60s, 70s, yeah.
Well, he had the husband's haircut. His son and him. And the wife was, you know, like the modern day country, you know, I go mudding outfit, you know, type situation. But there was like 2021, no mask. You know what I mean? Like, they were talking about, they expressed very loudly their Christian views and values. And, you know, and how they are for women not to have a choice of if they want to abort a baby or not. You know, like, you know, everybody's going to feel the same the way you feel.
Just think about this.
You know what I mean? And the way that you rolling, I already know, like, you're going to be tight.
North Carolina has 285,000 cases of coronavirus. Just let that one sink in. And you're saying no mask. No mask.
No mask, right. No mask 2021. And, like, and they was talking about, like, because they got, what, 17 states now, the cases have went up more? Like, I mean, come on, y'all. Like, I have family that had caught the coronavirus. You know what I'm saying? Luckily, you know, he pulled through and everything like that. Thank God, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, and you know, you had to deal with some stuff in your situations, and I'm pretty sure other people have too. We lost some lives out here. Like, y'all, nobody really pays it no mind until it really affects them in that way.
You know what would be ironic? Those people that say no mask, they get to heaven. They walk up the clouds to the pearly gate, and on the pearly gate is a sign. It says, no entrance without a mask. And over to the side of a heavenly mask. My question is, will they go straight to hell, or will they put the mask on and go into heaven?
Oh, no. They can't put the mask on. You're going to affect heaven with the evil demons. You got to go down. You got to go down to the hole. Down to the pit. Sir, can you kindly step to the right a little bit? Well, what's to the right? Pull the lever. You know what I mean? Right. You're done. So go down there and devil going to be like, yo, I heard you like not wearing masks. Look at old Jim over there. He didn't wear a mask. Look what he's doing right now. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I don't want no parts of that, yo. And then I watch too much Supernatural, bro. I ain't trying to do all that.
I really think it's ironic that most of these people who are screaming no mask are a certain sect of religion, very religious people who believe that God is going to take care of them. So,
right, and I mean, you have every right to feel that way, but I you know what, I challenged, you know, some of that stuff, because let me know what God told you to be stupid. I have not came across or read of a God that says, you know, they'll tell you, yo, these are the rules and the regulations, but they also didn't say, hey, you know what? Yo, if you see a plague, go ahead to the plague. It don't matter. You can roll around with the people with the plague. You're not going to get infected. No. You pray for barriers. You pray for protection. You know what I'm saying? Like, and look, this is the crazy thing. For dudes that have who they pray to, and one, I don't know what God that tells people to commit suicide. I don't know. But if a dude is talking about, yo, Allah, whatever, right? I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, they going in knowing what's going to happen. They are peaceful with dying. And they know this situation is going to happen. It's going to be instant, right? You're going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Like, most likely you're going to, like you said, like people say, suicide by plane, blowing themselves up, doing something crazy, or die in a shootout. You ain't going to live that long, right? People, they do this nonsense with the coronavirus, and they be like, yeah, you know, it's cool. Yeah, I'm going to run over around there. You know, I don't care about the mask. Then it kills you slowly, right? So they start taking you. But then you don't know that you infected your wife or your kids, right? So now you're like, now it says your immune system ain't that strong, or your kids ain't whatever. Then you're going to be like, yo, God, help me, yada, yada, yada. And if God don't help you, then you mad at God because he didn't help you. But God's going to be like, who told you to do that stupidness?
No, God's going to point you and say, faith without works is in vain. So,
hey, I need a keyboard.
He's going to say that you should have had faith in that damn mask, and you didn't put work on and put that mask on.
Bro, you looking for trouble. You looking for trouble. And the thing about it, it'll kill you while you're looking at your family dying. That's torture.
Just imagine these families who, like, when you look at the news and the whole family, like, died, like the dude that went to his family reunion and 13 members of his family died. Can you imagine?
Right.
Can you imagine being the one that lives knowing that you made your family sick and 13 members of... Oh, man. Like, you automatically are strung out on drugs for the rest of your life. Because there's no way you can cope. You can't cope with that.
That's a lot of weight to carry. That weight is carried. And you got to take full responsibility for that. Yo, we ain't got family? Nah, what happened to him? Oh, I killed him.
This man killed his mom, dad, sister, brother, and a grandparent. Like, you killed your immediate family.
Your lineage. Your loins. And the ones who created you.
Because you believe that science wasn't correct. You believed that you could take this into your own hands and make whatever happen. But then you look around the world. Look at this. Look at the whole UK. They shut down the whole UK for a month. And they're going to lock people up who they catch they're not going to give choices like here, like, hey, it's a silent door that says, wear your mask. I have my right now to wear a mask. Go ahead.
You know, it's crazy that, people don't really look into it, but, Virginia is part of the UK.
Any place, Kentucky is too. Any place is the Commonwealth.
So, but put it like this: if they are willing to shut down for a month, and your president to this date says, "Now, bet I know that we need to keep the economy going. I know certain things like that, but I look at it like this: if you knew this is going on in China. And I mean, I don't care what somebody's saying. If it's obvious reason that they have a big outbreak, it would behoove you to say, you know what? Let me put the wall up. Somebody's coming in. That's it.
Think about this. Right before now, I know people want to think this is a conspiracy theory, but just think about this. Right before the corona, we should have known something was up. right before the coronavirus kicked off, remember when all the Chinese restaurants said they didn't have any chicken wings? There was a shortage of chicken wings, right? Next thing you know, chicken wings come back big, coronavirus comes. If the president knew anything about the coronavirus, which we knew he did before he said anything, and he used that. Basically, the scenario of keeping the economy running, and when we have a surplus of money that they're just living off of, not us, the 1%. What happens is the TV show, The Walking Dead. When you have a virus and you keep trying to run the economy, you do nothing but spread it and you kill everybody. The economy means nothing if people are dead. If
right, it's like putting us in, that's like putting everybody in the guillotine.
That's worse. That's like concentration camps in Germany. Just, hey, sir.
I mean, it's kind of, you know. I mean, if you got to put your city on lockdown, you quarantine, right? There is a war. There's a border. You ain't going nowhere. So it's every man for themselves. We're like Resident Evil out this mug. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, look. I got a lot.
People are walking viruses right now.
But here's the craziest thing, right? And it's still look at it as what it is. COVID-19, right?
Know what I like in love. I don't know, but when I look into your eyes, I see everything I like in love. It's no surprise you came in looking much better than a 9. I know what you need, somebody you like in love. I can see clearly now. Remember all them long days trapping out the hallway. Baby, can you hear me now? Cause all I wanna be with is you. You know what I like. Big wheel spinning roof missing in the night. Big chain beaming cup filled with his bright. You see the sun, but if it ain't enough, gas jet up. If you wanna get lunch, then after that you can't pass me the blunt. Ay, we get stuck. She know what I like. She know what I like. She know what I like. In love, I don't know, but when I look into your eyes, I see everything I like. In love, it's no surprise you came in looking much better than a 9. Know what you need, somebody you like. In love, I'm gone, yeah. Scooting on a motorbike, bitch, I did it twice. So baby girl, she gonna ride me. We go where we want, we go in the city.
It's gonna happen. Life's gonna told us this.
It's gonna, if it's a virus like they're saying, the Lysol in a couple of years is not gonna work. They're gonna have to redo because it's gonna be able. That's what a virus does. It adapts.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing, and it's adapted to the place where you can't tell it from the common cold. Like, this will probably be the year, and we can tell right now, this is the first year I remember in a long time that it started getting cold this early in the year.
You know, that's weird too, though.
Just think about that.
I mean, like, coming down, like, I know, like, New York right now, the weather should be, like, you know, like in the 40s and 30s, you know. And down here, we had some nights where it hit like 35. And normally, that don't start happening until around near the end of December, January. Because, we have our cool days and should be having jackets and stuff like that every now and then. But, I remember, I think it was 2 Christmases ago, it was like 80 degrees outside.
Right.
On Christmas.
Now watch. Here's the sad thing about Eastern Carolina. And this is not just white or black people, it's both races. They do not believe what to wear when it's wintertime. Because the first chance you see, I remember that year when it was like 80 degrees at Christmas. People were running around here at Christmas with shorts and flip-flops on, and T-shirts and white beaters. And I'm walking around with my jacket on. You know why? Because it's still wintertime. It is still wintertime.
It's crazy? Because this, I think it was my uncle, and I think some old white dude. I don't remember because it was like, I was at some place. I don't remember where it was. But this dude was like, yo. And my uncle, it was just like, look, your body adjusts to the climate for that time. Whether people realize it or not, your body adjusts to that climate time. So if it's fall, my body had to get used to this weather down here from the city. In the city, my body's used to September. We going back to school. And cold. We got little jean jackets on. By October, I might have a little sweater or something, a little hoodie under the jean jacket, whatever. By November, I got a coat on. It's on. And we gonna rock this out. January's gonna get real brick. Down here, and I tell people down here has a different type of cold. Down here's a wet cold. New York is a dry cold. So, and believe it or not, I think the wet cold it gets you because if it gets 20 degrees down here, it's shutting 10 degrees with the mist in the air from the trees and in the air and on the road. It's if it gets like that 4 or 5 days straight, North Carolina might just shut down. It's just going to be it's going to be too cold for people to really drive on the road.
Right. See,
New York is dry air. Brick city, it's dry, but oh man, it's a different type of environment, and now I feel like with everything going on, we in trouble. North Carolina needs, it's gonna. I was just saying, but I think we're going to have a cold winter this year, though.
I recommend,
and that's a great time for the coronavirus too.
Oh yeah, and that's why I'm recommending all parents to do 2 things, and your kids are going to hate you for it. Go ahead and go and buy a couple of those great big bottles of vitamin C, and in the morning before they go to school, make them pop 2 of them and watch their eyes flicker like they're eating a grapefruit. They're going to hate you for it, but it's going to help boost their immune. And another one you need to give them is vitamin D. Because of the video game phenomenon, kids don't get that much sunlight. And because of the coronavirus, they're not getting that much sunlight. So you need to give them some vitamin D. You need to give them some vitamin C. And if you start seeing them having sinus problems, put a half a spoonful of cayenne pepper in about 8 ounces of water, stir it up, and make them gargle their throat out. Don't let them drink it. Spit it out. But it's going to help burn out that thing and kill any infections that's coming. So that's some things that you can do.
Well, so that will hit your bloodstream. That goes directly to your bloodstream?
Woo! Yeah. And it's gonna give you that fire. You know how old people used to say, eat some oatmeal, something warm to stick to you? You just put fire in your vein. You just set fire through your veins. It's
That,
gonna keep you warm.
That's probably like when people get those migraines, and like if you go to a doctor that's about natural cures and stuff like that or whatever. If you go to a doctor and they say, look, to get rid of your migraines, I'm gonna give you this needle, but this needle has magnesium in it, and I'm gonna shoot you up with this magnesium. Now they're gonna tell you gonna feel like you gonna get hot, like you gonna start sweating, everything. You gonna be feeling like, whoo, what the hell? Like you got hot flashes or something, bruh. But I guess what though? The migraines are gone though.
But see,
migraines are gone, and all you gotta do after that is maintain yourself.
I kind of like that type of medicine because I dealt with that with my leg, getting the cortisone shot. Now, here's the problem with that. First problem, I hate needles. So when the man came in, he had a needle that was about the size of I'm exaggerating, but it looked like it was about the size of my forearm.
People that don't like needles are normally exaggerating the size of the needle. Majority of the time. I mean, there are some needles that are big, so like, yeah, okay, but y'all be like, oh, my God.
No, this needle was big enough that they had to be able to stick it through, listen to me, into my knee, in between my bone, in between where the cartilage is, and shoot this stuff in there. And yes, first, I couldn't look at her put that needle in, and
did she at least numb the area?
Yeah, she numbed it. But like, I'm sorry, my phobia of needles is that strong that she numbed it. I still felt that. I'm sorry. And when she released it, oh, I felt it. And here's the problem. It took away one problem, but gave me a pain of another problem. So
what was that?
It's like it just hurt. Like I was having trouble walking. It made me so that I could walk, but where they put the shot in, it was like a constant pain. So I can walk, but now I had this constant nagging pain there. So then they give me painkillers. So I'm like, that's not helping.
Oh, see? Yeah,
it's like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I don't want that. But then I found out about CBD drops and CBD flowers, and that helped me more than the shot. So it's all about finding the home remedies, because there's a lot of stuff that if we just... The sad thing is we've been disconnected from the ways the old people used to treat us. So
right, I remember Buckley's and I can't even find that. I remember I used to have a cold. Shoot, I mean that stuff was nasty as heck, and it put the fire to your chest. But like, I didn't stay sick for long though.
Okay, what was the
last
medicine you got growing up?
I know Buckley's is one. It was like a alloy, not alloy, aloe.
Aloe. So you had
aloe is disgusting.
No, I'll take
from the
aloe.
Plant itself. From the plant, like.
I tell you.
Nah, like my mother-in-law. You know, she's from Trinidad, my wife and all that, right? So they get the actual aloe plant, and when you cut it, it's got the stuff in it, and the
gel, yes, and it makes your mouth perfect. Yes, I've had that.
God.
My mother kept that. Listen to me, I would eat that any day.
Over what?
Over castor oil. Castor oil.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Anything that they put gasoline, kerosene, and sugar in to tell you to make it taste better, you know that's a nasty tasting shit, bro.
Ooh, yeah, you got to curse on that one.
We had something called Father's John that they used to give us. And here's the one that used to kick me. And I would never take it because you know what the bottle said?
What?
666.
Oh! Oh, yeah, you drinking the devil. You drinking the devil there. You're done. Like, you telling me if I drink this, I would die? Like, oh my gosh. What?
Yes, it was.
Oh, that's like they were saying, like, when Cat was talking about smoking that weed called death.
Yeah.
Like, you tell me if I smoke this, I won't die? Like, you gonna be like freaking Marlon and Dolby in Minutes in South Central, or drink your juice in the hood, like, yo.
I really found it. Listen. I found it. It's called Father John 666 Cough Medicine.
Oh, nah. I'm not with it.
Here's another
I'm not with it.
666 Maximum Strength Preparation.
Oh, we're gonna get you right tonight. Hell yeah. We're gonna bang your up tonight. Oh, you're gonna feel the fire coming out of your bowl. You were dead. Oh, man.
Opening someone's cabinet and seeing that sitting in there, 666 cold preparation. Maximum strength. Yeah, it was something else they had. It was soups. And then you had those old remedies like, this sounds so racist. Coon juice. Coon grease. You had something called coon grease also.
No.
Yes.
You serious?
Serious as can be. It was in a jar, right? And they would boil. Okay, so they would catch a raccoon. Don't ask me how you catch a raccoon, because I do not know. I wasn't there for that part of it. And
I didn't even know people would catch a raccoon.
Yes, and they boiled him and got all the grease out of him. And he's very, very greasy. And they use it to make medicine. It's an old Indian thing. They put sugar and scraps of like veins of vines and stuff in this jar, and so basically it's medicinal medicine, and it's from raccoons. And when you got sick, so we had this great aunt, and if you were at her house,
okay,
and you started sneezing, coughing, anything like that, or if one kid in the house got sick, oh my goodness, she goes and gets that jar of coon grease. She didn't think. So I remember the jar. It used to have. So you know how like oil and water separates?
Yeah.
So you will see the fat over top of the watery looking stuff in the bottom with all this mineral. She would take the spoon and stick it in this jar and pull up some of the clear with the it was like a creamy looking, brown looking stuff, Lord looking stuff. She would put it on a spoon and she would take some sugar and sprinkle on top of it and stick it in your mouth.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you had it. Yeah, that's kind of traumatizing right there.
I looked at my dad.
That's like your mom's like you scraped your knee, and your mom says, oh, y'all scraped my knee or whatever, and she's like, she hit you either with the alcohol, peroxide, and you probably just be like, oh, okay, I deal with it. But then when she says, you know what, I'm gonna put the iodine on it. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's like. You know what I mean? Like, put iodine on the cut. Like, oh, you know, like, woo! Oh my good, yo, put it like this. I was reading, right?
Right.
Like, what a lot of people don't realize that the grocery worker has a higher chance of getting the coronavirus.
Yes.
Just think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm cooped up in the store all day. I got to go through hundreds and hundreds of customers, maybe thousands of customers a day. Right? Now, and then, you know, like Walmart, say like if the machine acts up or they need to identify you as, you know, if you're over 40 or under 40 or whatever, if you're standing right there, they still got to punch in the computer. Now, God forbid somebody got the corona, they coughing or whatever. I mean, the mask is going to help you to a degree, but it ain't going, you know what I mean? I feel like the mask will cushion the blow. I don't think it'll stop it. I think it cushions the blow where it's not full on in your lungs and all that.
Well, I think Walmart has enough money that they could put all their employees into like a hazmat type suit so they wouldn't have to deal with the people. You see what I'm saying? Like, you could at least, they have enough money they could do that without losing
they got enough money. They have their money. They man, Walmart got so much money. Put it like this. A company like Walmart, put it like this. I hired you to work for me, right? And especially if I know the area. I know for a fact that even though I'm paying you, you're going to give me some of that money I'm paying you back. Because you can't beat my prices at certain places. So that piece of, that cookies or that piece of meat maybe, like, I'll put it like this, Sanders chicken, right? Sanders Farm chicken. I could probably find me a pack for like a wings, because, you know, I love chicken wings, for maybe like $10, right? But then if I go to another store, that same pack might be $15. I've seen a pack of chicken wings that was about $20. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, the way that they corner the market like that, you know what I mean? It's kind of hard to beat you as an employee to go somewhere else to spend your money. So is Walmart really losing that much money? Because you already spending half of your paycheck on groceries, especially if you have a family.
Yeah. Fuck the fakes and the lames and the puss-ass haters. I went in with my plug, went and got me some paper. Reincarnated, I was reborn on that block. Made my first profit, then I went and bought me that Glock. Buying my wife and daughter Gucci, living life like a movie. Gold chains around my neck, starting to feel like Boosie. STP James Jr., but I'm still happy. They done snatched my brother up, but I'm still trapping. Hit my knees, say my prayers, keep my head on that swivel. When you running up that bag, you gon' run into issues. Small thing to a giant, I'm a beast out here. I be up, ain't no lacking, ain't no sleeping out here. 100 rounds in that yapper, living life on the edge. Only thing I fear is God and the motherfucking feds. New charm and new chain looking ready. Blue bills can't fold, that's sexy. Trap life got these feds wanna check me. 200 missed calls, 200 text messages. The streets need me, and the plug bless me. 200 bowls and OG on bench pressing it. These might look like they chucks, but they ballast. This SRT turn your block to a rally. STP got that tatted on my arm. Young nigga, I live the life of a don. I got that juice, I got that good gas. 93 OG jump every time. Niggas rap about that life, but it's really mine. When that pat touch down, they going pound for pound. Undisputed with that weight, nigga, pound for pound. These little niggas couldn't see me with their grandma glasses. OG schooled me to some shit, I know dope or magic. I ain't no real rapper, but I'm a real trapper. Real street nigga, put it in the seal rapper. They indicted at the city and I'm still trapping. But I don't brag about it, I just pray about it. Niggas got big heads, I'm counting up them big heads. New car, new house, that's that big bread. Fuck.
Damn. Well, here's the thing. If they didn't control you, right? So,
Right.
just think about. Let's go back to 1920, right? If we were in 1920, 100 years ago, and I bought 2 acres of land, and I owned a back quarter acre, built me a chicken pen, and I got me 2 goats, and I got me 1 or 2 pigs, right?
Okay.
I possibly, with just the chickens alone, from the chickens, the eggs, and the chickens itself, I could feed my family off of that if I own my own land. But because of regulations, even though you own your land, you can't grow, you can't have livestock in your land. So it controls you to go to the store. And then they make sure that one place.
You can't have, if I got chicken.
If you live in the city, you can, just think about it. Before, even if you lived in a city, you can have chickens. You can have that type of stuff. You can't have that now unless you're grandfathered in. That means your grandfather did it, your father did it, and now you're doing it in the same, y'all living off the same heritage of chickens, then you probably can pull it off. But you have to prove that lineage on both sides, which is very hard to do. But, no, you cannot. Even in certain parts of the county, you can't do that.
Wow.
Okay, let's take away.
Didn't even know that.
Let's take away. Let's just say I'm a vegan, and if I wanted to go out in my front yard and sow vegetables, all my yard vegetables, so I could eat, I couldn't do that because the home association would come up and tell me that's not allowed. If you want vegetables, go to the store and buy vegetables, or go to the farmer's market. You don't grow your vegetables.
They're gonna be like, well, this is what they're there for. You go buy from them.
Right. It's a control thing. And that means
you know what's crazy? Cause my man told me that like back in the day, I don't know how, like back in the day, like when people had their land or whatever, I think this is somewhere in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of made me real sad about it, but yeah, it was sad. So, you know, I think they wanted the land, but I don't think they were trying to sell land or whatever. But they was coming around there and telling them like they can't Like these white people were telling them that they can't grow like, you know, like the cucumbers. They couldn't have a vegetable garden and none of that. Right?
Right.
And it was, and on top of that, but, you know, like, it was legal for them to do so. But, like, I think authority-wise, you know, they try to pull the power and it's like, nah, you can't do that. So, to install fear, what they would do was come and, like, destroy, like, their little crops, like the vegetable thing and everything. But the kicker was, these people were so ruthless that they end up raping the grandmother and I think another female in there, just to prove a point of how much they don't want us to grow our own vegetables and stuff, because they know if we know how to do that and we don't have to put our money into their grocery stores, we could literally take care of our family and the neighbor down the street. You know what I'm saying? It's like Black Wall Street.
Well,
so these laws are put into place for it, so you can't really do that because they, you know, I think it's like a slavery system set up anyway.
Well,
you tell me I can't grow my own thing in my yard and I'm paying taxes for?
It's not your yard. Because if it was your yard, you wouldn't be paying taxes on it. It's not your car, or you wouldn't have to go register it and do all this crazy stuff. Just think about it.
Which I think that's a conspiracy theory myself.
Well, I mean, the Supreme Court's already made a ruling that a car doesn't have to be registered, nor the driver has to be licensed if it's moving in a capacity which is not in a means of making commerce. So if I'm taking my family to church, I'm not making commerce unless I'm the pastor. Hint, hint.
So the and when you look up the DMV, it's a privately owned company. That's not nothing state owned or federally. It's not even federal owned. It's not a federal owned business. It's a private company.
Right. In every state. And see, when you look at it, like, I want everybody, if you take anything from this podcast, I'm about to say the most realest thing. Right now, in America, is when they're already enacted. Right now, if you want to know, you always hear people talk about it. And I'm going to say it. When you talk about 3/5 of a man in America, okay? And voting.
Man in America.
And voting. And you'll find out that because nothing changed, it comes down to the electoral college votes that the slaves, when it comes down to counting votes, our votes is only 1/3 of a vote.
Ooh.
It gives the 15th Amendment grants black men the right to vote, but they are 3/5 of a citizen in the voting capacity, not in a person. That's where a lot of people get it mixed up. So it says basically out of every 5 slaves or every 5 votes from a black person, they would count 3.
Wow.
So do you see how in places where, like, Biden should, like, overrun Trump he can't because it's still the 3 to 5. And this is what they don't tell you. They've been playing this game, and a lot of times we as a people, we don't sit down and really read, research, or understand. So it's all about voting. See, when we break it down and we talk about voting and controlling and being able to make laws, rules, and regulations, that is where we as black people are pushed out of the system. Because if we're able to make it fair and equal, and it will come through the voting system by putting our people in there. We make up the majority of the U.S. population, but when you look at Congress, it does not affect our numbers, nor does it reflect. All you see is a deflection of us in those Senate, Congress, and in the political seat. And that all goes back to voting to that 3/5. They knew once they freed what they call emancipated, and they put us in a place where we could vote, and they did do that. They had to put something as a safeguard, as a little rain quote, a ceiling, so that we wouldn't be able to go up. And then once we figure that out, that's when you get into the word insurrection. And then you'll find out anytime you find a city that had insurrection, that city either had one or two things. They either had a black economy or they had people in Congress or Senate who were black. And then you're killing them. So now take Wilmington, North Carolina, for example, in 1898. When they did the insurrection and made the Cape Fear River run blood red with the blood of black people. They had a whole massacre. Now, you got to think, you go through and you kill a whole town off almost, right? If you're in other towns, you have to think twice. Are they coming to do this to us? How do we fend this off? Or do we save our lives and our children's lives and just leave this position and leave this office and not run when our term is over?
Submission.
And it all goes back to that 3/5 not being able to hold enough seats, not being able to really represent ourselves. Because when you look at the representation, because that's what they always try to get us to think about in government, that we the people represented by the people, but when we the people look at the people, we don't see our people in the people. We might be by the people, but we ain't by the people. We can't by the people. We're going to get the coffee as interns and stuff. We're not the ones sitting on the Senate floors. Now, the numbers are going up over the years, but you have to think it's not going up as it should to reflect the population.
Well, yeah, because if with that being said, like, if I keep you in certain poverty situations and I keep you in certain concentrated areas, which, you know, we adapted as the hood, we're gonna either get locked up, get a record, or dead.